back to Tradingofftilt. I'm Ryan. In this video, we're going to be going over the Elliott wave count that I have on Bitcoin on the local time frame. In the last video I made for you guys, I didn't really touch upon it that thoroughly. So in this video, I kind of want to go into it a little bit more in depth. But before we get into it, I should show you guys some context to give you guys some context for what we're looking at. And basically, in my opinion, we're looking at something like this, where we completed a 5-wave impulse down here, and it's arguable if you want to call this a wave 3 down here, or this could all be perhaps, like I showed you guys in my last Elliott wave count video for Bitcoin, this could all be an extended wave 3, and there's some other possibilities if you guys want to go check those out in my previous video. But for this video, we're just going to mainly be focusing on this section right here on the local time frame. So without further ado, let's go on to the 5-minute chart. And let's scroll over here. So we're going to be covering everything beyond this low right here, put in on the 24th of January. And basically, I have a few counts we could be looking at. And before I get into this, I want to show you guys that there really isn't, in my opinion, there's not really a good bullish count for this section right here, which indicates to me that we're going to be going lower eventually. And this is probably just consolidation before another dump down. Now, the only bullish count we could apply to this would be saying, because this is a 3-wave move up, in my opinion, the only account we could apply to this that's bullish, that is going to mean that we're going to be, let's zoom out a little bit more. That would indicate that we're going to be doing something like this. Is basically saying this is all a leading diagonal. So in that case, let's zoom in a little bit more. We would have to call this all a wave 1 for the wave 1 for an ABC. This would all be a wave 2 down here. So I'm just gonna get the trend lines out, make it a little bit easier for you guys to visualize. So be a wave 1 up here. This would all have to be a wave 3 in my opinion. This would be a wave 2. And we could be doing something like this, where this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, and we come up for a 5th wave, and then get a rejection down here, which is probably going to be a pretty deep retracement, because if you get a diagonal, especially a leading diagonal, then chances are the retracement off of the wave 5 is going to be pretty low, typically beyond the golden pocket. So if the golden pocket happens to be pulled like so, if we get a white wave 5 up here, then we would expect it to probably come to at least the golden pocket, but most likely even lower if this is a diagonal. Now, to be honest, guys, I'm not too convinced this is a diagonal for various reasons. The first one being that the volume profile is not really matching up with what you would expect for a diagonal. For a diagonal, to clarify, for a contracting diagonal, you would expect to see decreasing volume throughout the progression of the diagonal. And so far, we're not really getting that for the most part. You could argue that the highest volume spike in wave 1 was lower than the highest volume spike in wave 3. So it's not per se impossible just based on the volume profile alone, but we're not really getting decreasing volume. We're kind of getting more steady volume for the most part. If you zoom into the moving average line down here, this orange line of the volume profile, you don't really see, you would expect to see more of a gradual decline like so. But yeah, like I said, it's a little bit more steady than declining. So that's the first reason why I'm not too convinced this is a diagonal. The second reason is just the fact that this upper slope line is very gradual. I would expect to see something a little bit more like this. Let's zoom out a little bit more. It's a little bit like this, more like this. But instead, this trend line, rather this wave 3, barely took out the high of wave 1, which is not, it's not very typical. You'd expect to see the wave 3 come a little bit higher than that. But yeah, it's not impossible this is a diagonal, but I'm not too convinced overall. So that's my take on the overall bullish count that we could be applying to this section right here. I don't think it's very likely that this is a diagonal for a wave 1. But it is possible. We have to kind of wait and see. And if we do end up getting something like this, and then another 5th wave up, and then a dump down indicative of a wave 2, then we have to consider it. But until then, I'm not too convinced. And I'm going to be going off of some of the other counts that I have which I'm about to show you guys. Okay, so the first corrective count I want to show you guys today is this one right here. So I would say ignore the WXYXZ for now. We're going to go into that a little bit later and interpret whether this is a WXYXZ or if this is just simply a bigger WXY. But for now, I just want to go to the subdivisions and just kind of show you guys how I arrived at this count, or how I subdivided this whole section right here. So let's zoom into this part right here. We're just going to be staying on the 5-minute chart. I feel like going below that for the most part is just going to give you, is just going to provide a little bit too much noise and make it a little bit more difficult. So we're going to stay on the 5-minute chart, and then starting right here, we're going to go up for a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to complete a wave A. Moving down, we get a wave B, which happens to be a zigzag for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the wave A. Off the wave B, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for this wave C. And then we actually get a leading expanding diagonal right here for a wave A. Moving down for wave B, up for wave C. This would complete what is the degree called? This would complete a microwave 1. Then we move down for a microwave 2. And this whole section right here would actually be a contracting diagonal. This would be a very slight contracting diagonal. So if we pull out a channel and line it up with this trend line right here, then we could see that it's very slightly contracting. So it's not parallel, but it's fairly slightly a contracting diagonal. And this would be a 1, 2. This would be an A, B, C for the wave 3. So this we would count it up as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for this wave A. This wave B would probably be a zigzag for an A, B, C. Then this would actually be also an ending expanding diagonal for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's really the only way we count this as a zigzag if we were to say this is an A, B, C zigzag, because you can't really squeeze a 1. You can't really call this a 1, 2. Has no symmetry with this 3, 4 if that's how you were to count it. So this is how I counted this wave C of this wave 3. Then moving down, we get an A, B, C wave 4, A, B, C wave 5 to complete this A, B, C zigzag. Then moving on to this section, I counted this all as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, this section right here, so this low and this low, they vary based on exchanges. So on this exchange, on Coinbase, this low takes out this low right here. But if you were to look at other exchanges such as, I believe, Bybit or Binance, this low actually comes a little bit above this high, or rather this low. So we could actually apply different counts to this section right here based on that. But for this count, we're going to be assuming that this low takes out this low right here and it comes below this low, to put it in other words. And in that case, we're going to be calling this all a zigzag for an A, B, C. So as I mentioned, this would be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, A, B, C for wave B. Then a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave C. Then moving up, this section right here, very tricky to count. The way I did it is I call this all a wave A, and this would all be a wave C. So this would be an A, B, C zigzag. So this wave A would be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the wave A. This wave B would be a flat for an A, B. This would be an A down here, B up here, C down here for the wave B. Then moving on, we get a 1, 2, 3, 4. So this would be a triangle for the fourth wave. So it would be A, B, C, D, E for this wave 4. We could zoom in to make it easier for you guys. This wave 4 would end right here, and then we come up for this wave 5. This would complete a wave C of this zigzag. So yeah, so at first I was putting this wave 1 here, then I was going to put this, I was actually saying this was a WXY for this wave 4, and I was tolerating this overlap. So if this is a wave 1 and this is a wave 4, this wave 4 would overlap this wave 1, and I was tolerating that for a little bit, but I think it makes more sense if we call this all a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for a wave W, and this would have to be a very short X and a very short Y. So the only two ways I would count this are accepting a little bit of overlap right here for a wave 4, then calling this a wave 5, or just simply calling this all a WXY. So that would complete presumably this minuet wave Y. Then moving on to this section right here, this would all be a zigzag. So this would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the wave A. This would be a WXY for this wave B. So it would be a triangle for this W wave, zigzag for this X wave, zigzag for this Y wave. This moves on to this wave C, which we could probably just say A, B, C, D, E, or rather 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for this wave C to complete the zigzag. And that could complete a minuet wave X for all we know. And then moving on to this more local price action right here, we could count a 5 waves up if we count a 1, 2. So the 1 would be a leading diagonal for a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for this wave 1. This wave 2 would be something like a flat of some sort. Moving on, we get a wave 3 up here, 4 down here, 5 up here for a wave A. And then we get a WXY. We're kind of forced to say it's a WXY because this would be a flat right here. Be some sort of flat for this wave W. This would be a zigzag for this wave X. And this wave Y would be some sort of flat as well. That would complete a wave B. And then moving on, we get a very short wave C in comparison to this wave A. But nonetheless, that would give us the completion of a zigzag for an A, B, C. And that could complete a minuet wave Z. So I'm going to go into this price action a little bit more later on. But for now, I'm just going to zoom out and show you guys what I just kind of went over. So we could call this all a WXYXZ. That's one option we could give to this count. But what we could also do is say that this is all a W wave down here, or rather up here. So I'm going to hide that for now. We can say this is all a W wave up here, X wave down here, Y wave up here. And now instead of giving us a WXYXZ, it would give us a WXY for a 3-wave move. So that's another option we could apply to this count right here. But the next count I want to show you guys, I'm going to hide this for now, is this one right here. So like I mentioned to you guys, this low, it depends what exchange you're looking at, but on this exchange, this low comes below this low right here. So if we were to get a trend line out, actually I have an array on this very low right here. So to show you guys, we take a ray and we place it on the very low. And we can see if we zoom in that this low barely comes below that other low. Now, if you're looking at other exchanges, this low actually comes above this low. So with the other count I want to show you guys, I'm going to make the assumption that this is all a wave 2. It's a very deep wave 2. And I'm going to be following the other exchanges, in which case this low actually does not make a new low. So in that case, we can actually call this a wave 1. This would count up as a 1, 2, 3, 4. This wave 4 doesn't overlap this wave 1, so it's valid. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for this wave 1. This would probably be a zigzag for wave 2. Moving on, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, wave 3, 4, 5 for this wave 3. So this would be a subminuet wave 3, subminuet wave 4, which doesn't overlap this wave 1. It comes close, but it doesn't. And then we move up for the subminuet wave 5 to complete this minuet wave A. Now moving off that, we get a wave B, obviously. So this is going to be, to clarify, an A, B, C zigzag. That's what I'm going to be calling it for this count. And moving on to this wave B, we get an A up here. So this would be probably a B, or rather 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This wave A, up for this wave B, probably another variation of a zigzag. And then moving on, we have to call this a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for this wave 1. 2, this would be a very deep wave 2. 3, 4, 5 for this wave C. And that would complete this zigzag down here for this wave B. And then moving on to this wave C, pretty similar subdivisions as to what I showed you guys before. So this would be a 1, 2, but we're calling the wave 3 up here. So instead of this being a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're saying this is a 1, 2. Then this third wave would probably be a 1, 2 here, or it could be a 1, 2 up here. And this would be a 3, 4 somewhere in here. And this would all be a fifth wave right here for this wave 3. But the way we're counting this wave 3 is, oops, so we would have to say this is a, let's see, ABC, ABC. So we would have to say this is all a flat right here. This is all some sort of zigzag, and this is all some sort of zigzag to complete a WXY. That's really the only, there could be other ways you could count it, but the main reason I put the wave 3 here is because if you were to put it anywhere over here, you can't get a 3-wave move, you can't get a 5-wave move out of this section right here to give us this wave 5. So we have to put the wave 3 right here to give us an A, B, C for this wave 4, and then we get a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for this wave 5 to complete the wave C of a zigzag. Alright, now to sum it all up for you guys, there's basically 3 counts we could be looking at right now. The first one is the bullish count, in which case we're in a diagonal, where this would be a 1, 2, 3, 4. We have yet to come up with the 5. And I'm not going to consider this that likely. I think it's very unlikely we're going to be getting this count. But if we were to get something, like I mentioned, maybe we could bounce right here. If we were to get something like this, an ABC down, and then another ABC up, indicative of a wave 5, that's when we could start considering this count. But until then, I'm not going to consider it very likely. I'm going to be considering some of the other counts I showed you guys, including this one right here. So this one, we basically got a WXYXC, or this could alternatively just be a larger WXY. So this would be an ABC, ABC, ABC. That's another count we could be looking at. And the third count we went over is this one right here. So in this case, this would actually, we have a few options we could be looking at for this count. The first one being that this is all a W wave up here. This is all a Y wave down here, or rather an X wave down here, and this is all a Y wave up here. So that would give us a WXY. This would be a very short wave X to clarify, but it's still possible if you call this a zigzag. And alternatively, we could also say that this is simply an A, this is a B down here, and this is a C. So in this case, as you guys can probably see on the screen, we could be getting an expanding triangle. So an expanding triangle, in which case this would be a wave A, this is a wave B, C, and we're currently coming down for a D, and we come up for another wave D, or rather up for another wave E, and then finally dump down for that wave 5. Alright, so now we're on the 1 hour chart, and to summarize it for you guys, basically we put in a wave C right here, or a wave Y, in which case this could simply be a wave A. It could be a wave A of a larger degree, and we could be coming down for a wave B, and then back up for another wave C. Or simply we just put in an A, B, C for a wave 4, and now we're going to start dumping down for a wave 5, in which case we would come quite far below these lows, and we would want to see volume start to pick up as we make our way into this wave 3. That's the first option. The second option, like I just mentioned to you guys, we could be looking at a triangle, in which case this is A, B, C, D, E, then finally we dump down. Those are the main options I'm looking at for today on this count right here. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in the next video in the Discord server. Take care. Bye.